So for me, breakthrough, it looks like, as you say, little things happening over time and kind of building up and being willing to go with where, God has you, or like the flow of things, as it were. Decided, speaking of breakthrough, that I just really want to do things. Like I just, if it's artistic and if somebody has a vision, I'm in. Like I want to make Vancouver a place where things get made, because right now people don't feel that they can make things here. But again, there's always, like, I believe there's room for everyone, and you just never know. So we be auditioning, okay? But, and so with acting, I almost, it's like a fickle lover. You don't know how to please it sometimes. And then you're like, I don't care, I'm not pleasing it. I'm just gonna do my thing and take back control. And I just am gonna, like, I think things are funny, and so I'm gonna play it funny. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is.
No, absolutely.
And then you're like, oh, yeah. And so you kind of are in this, like, this is helpful for acting as well. I would say start by picking a niche and then spread out from there. Like start by one thing and then do it from there. Giving up on acting is fine. Giving up on yourself is not fine.
True.
I think sometimes you need to take space from the craft or from the business. More so, it's the business than the
take
craft.
care of yourself, like, your mental well-being and whatever you gotta do to.
But I think playing the long game, again, if it's what you want, I think playing the long game, because that's what Denzel was even basically saying.
What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of Breakthrough. And in today's episode, guys, we've got the very talented, beautiful, amazing, everything, guys. Like, she's so amazing.
All the hyphenates.
All the hyphenates.
slash.
Janessa Galbraith.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
God. Jenessa Galbraith.
Janessa Galbraith. That's my gal. Okay, good. Guys, yes, again, you guys know the drill. If this is your first time watching, listening, whatever, make sure to check our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. Just follow us and, make sure to, support us, right? But guys, let's just jump right in. How's it going, Janessa? How's it going? It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you. I was just noticing the second I got here that
the Prince,
baby. First of all, I am going to all three of these places a month from now, and I am going in this order.
I love it.
So
if you guys can't see like the writing, so this is Venice, Milan, and Amalfi Coast.
Yes.
So Janessa just happens to go. I guess I didn't plan it, guys. I promise I didn't plan this. I'm learning this for the first time with you guys.
Let me stalk the trip and put it in the background.
Let me call her up. Like, are you going to Italy by any chance next week?
Yeah,
I'm trying to market my poster. See if
no, these were already here, and it was like, I'm going to Venice, and like that's where I'll be staying. Yes. It's like not far from this bridge.
Venice, that's what they say. I thought it was Venice. Venice. That's what
I think so. I don't know. Maybe honestly, the Italian version could be Venice.
Maybe. I mean, like I say, like, we usually say Venice in French. So I kind of kept
Venice.
it the same way, but maybe Venice.
No, I mean, we might have just Canadianized it. I don't know. But either way, we're going to the land where the canals separate the houses. So you're just going to get to like go on a gondola and hang out. And then I'll be in Milan. And then at the end of the trip, I'll be in Amalfi Coast. So that's just fun.
Yeah.
That's just cool.
Little. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But I'm good.
Yes. And also Janessa is also going to be joining us in the podcast in Italy as well. So we're going to, we're gonna have like a part two.
Okay, perfect. Just slide that in there.
Zoom and have like, hey, Janessa, how's the?
I'll just put like we'll just have it in the background.
I'm like, yeah, not so good here today.
Yeah, oh no, it'll be different weather for sure.
Yes. No, but honestly, it's an honor to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I was kind of just like filling you in a little bit on the podcast, which is called Breakthrough. Again, guys, that this is just the podcast to inspire you to go after your dreams. And it's called Breakthrough because, we don't want to associate breakthrough to just something big in our career. It could be something very small, anything in life. If you just realize that you landed your first job, that you helped a friend out, like let's say, I don't know, like whatever, like if you have like someone's going through a hard time and you were able to, save them from whatever dark space they were in. Like, that's a breakthrough, right? Like, it's just anything that you do is a breakthrough and should be celebrated equally. And it doesn't have just to be like, like a big role or like a big thing. Although there are breakthroughs as well, like, like we don't.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's important to also celebrate the small wins. Actually, I love this from Atomic Habits, which is the book that I read.
Atomic Habits is so good. Yeah.
Such a good book. Small little wins, that's how I'd say.
Yeah.
Anyways, but okay, let's get going. Let's get that show up and running. So yeah, I mean, you do so many things. I guess, like, do you want to like just like kind of like take us through, like, bring us back in time a little bit?
Yeah.
And like where did Jenessa start? Like what are you doing? Like, did you? I know you're an actor as well, and from what I saw on IMDb, because I was stalking you a little bit.
As you would.
You're also a director, so you have like, so you've directed some stuff as well. So yeah, I mean, just kind of like take us through that, and
it's actually, I'm really glad you brought this up, and I really do think it's fascinating because of the concept of the podcast. So for me, breakthrough, it looks like, as you say, little things happening over time and kind of building up and being willing to go with where God has you, or like the flow of things, as it were. I started like so many like nerdy theater kids do, being like, as a kid, I would like pretend I was on my own TV shows as a child. I feel like I say this on every podcast, but I grew up watching Survivor, and I literally thought that I was like so cool to be on my own reality TV show. It's fine. There was a creek in my backyard. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I did Shakespeare, like grew up doing theater plays, and then didn't really think much of it other than the fact that I had this larger personality, we'll say. But when I was like considering where to go to university, I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was actually considering more psychology, which we'll swing back around to later, because that's kind of important for where my story went. But I basically decided, like, at the very last minute that I was going to go to theater school after taking a gap year. I had a friend like convince me that I could try it for a term, like a semester, and if I hated it, that I would never have to do it again.
I love that.
Yeah. And so I don't know, I guess I had commitment issues. I don't know. But my friend Tyler actually had said, you could just try like one semester and see how it goes. And it took way less than that. I was probably a week in, and I was like, this is my next 4 years.
I've seen enough.
Yes, I've seen enough. Okay. This is happening. This is dramatic and crazy. So, so then I ended up getting my BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Acting, which is a very extreme way of saying getting your major and minor in the craft of acting.
Right.
And then potentially, had I desired to do this, and maybe I will at some point, you could go get your master's with that.
Love it. Nice.
Yeah. So you had to audition for the program, etc. So I did that.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful. And then when I graduated, I was pretty tired because I did go to a private school, Trinity Western University. And so because of that, it was very expensive. Probably not to people in the States if you're watching from the States, but for Canada, it was quite expensive. So I was working at Starbucks. I'd be up at 5 a.m, like doing stuff, and then class all day, and then rehearsal till like 10 or 11 at night. So I was just a little burnt out. So 2016, 2017, I was kind of like still like recovering. And then I went through the process of trying to do film and TV. And I sort of had known I wanted to do film and TV, even though I was doing theater and I loved it. But I just came back to that childhood dream of like wanting to be on TV, I guess. And I got an agent thinking, like, in 2017, I got an agent thinking like, okay, this is going to be awesome. And I think I auditioned like once or twice all year because I didn't realize I had signed with someone who was essentially doing more so like background and stuff, and then I had some other gigs. She just was a newer agent and wasn't really well connected. And so I just wasted a lot of time thinking I was like, no, I won't say wasted. I mean, she was a very nice person, but I just wasn't really aware of like what it was because I was so new. And then I had a mentor speak to me saying like, yeah, like you should try doing some acting classes in Vancouver, which is when in 2018 I got involved with at Haven Studio. Shout out to Haven.
Shout out Ben.
Shout out Ben.
You actually do want to get Ben at some point on the podcast.
Of course. Ben is the most advocate for podcast. We love that. And a shout out to his feature film as well. But yeah, so basically I started taking classes and I became like aware of like the gap that I had had with my previous agent. So I left that and then just really started training again and like getting the passion back. And it was so fun in class. Like I loved it. And then, yeah, from that point forward, I was like training and auditioning and stuff until about 2020 when things got rough in these streets. And
yeah, that was pretty rough.
It was a pretty rough time for everyone, and there was various things going on, but I just, even prior to that, I was already exploring some other things because I was even at that point I was kind of itching and going, why? Like I just don't like waiting. I don't, and I don't mean from a place of patience. I mean, I don't like sitting around.
Makes sense.
And so I was like, well, maybe I could do my own creative things. And part of it for a long time, I had a hard time finding an agent that fully represented like what I did.
Yeah.
And so I started to like explore other avenues. Like I explored being a person who would create shorts and like things like that. And I explored just trying to get anything I could like direct and do. And so our friends they had a band called the Crescent Sky, and they had already done like a couple of songs that had actually done really well, like with like CBC contests and things like that. Yeah. And so we were like, well, like what? Like my friend and I were like, let's make a music video. Like, let's just make a music video. Yeah. Like, and it was sort of around that time that you had like Selena Gomez and people like making major music videos with like the iPhone.
True.
And we were like, we have iPhones.
Let's catch the trend.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
So we did. And I got a massive education on like, Premiere Pro and all the different editing things and trying to get angles and like, whatever, right? So we did the whole thing, and
nice.
And it was an exploration too to like actually make a story to music and what would that look like, and getting actors to be on board. And we didn't have money, so they were just doing it for free, like trying to feature different people so that they could get to be a part of something and have that on their credit or resume or whatever. So we did that first. And then I directed a commercial for like a local coffee shop and just sort of built myself up from there. And then eventually I had friends that were like making like mini series and things like that. And I just, I was still in the theater scene as well. So I was like assistant directing and doing things there and like still doing plays myself as an actor. So I was just trying to keep myself really inundated in the art. But yeah, slowly over time, I just felt that I was falling more and more into this capacity that was more than just actor. And again, I love acting, but a lot of acting relies on just, waiting for the audition. And when the audition comes, you're prepared to do your best version and your best take, but that might not be what they're looking for, or it might be what they're looking for. It might be an exact match, or you might bring something to the table they hadn't considered. So I'm not against, I'm still auditioning to this day, but there was just something about that waiting process that made me like, let me try to do other things. So that was happening. And then I had friends who wanted to produce their short films. I was like, I don't produce, but like, I can learn. Like, why the frick not?
Yes, fuck it. We're writing anyway, so might as well.
Yeah. And so I was like, great. And so then I produced a short film, and I just, things started to take off from there. And before you knew it, I was kind of doing more projects like that than even just acting. So fast forward, yes, pandemic, all that stuff, waiting around, like, there's many chapters in that section of 5 years, but essentially last year I decided that I was going to really learn my life as a producer and also a creator, because I felt, through a series of events, I was like, I also write, and I'd written a one-woman show and directed that on Vancouver Island. And I really wanted to write, and I was obsessed, as everyone was, with half-hour comedies, because obviously, thank you to The Office and Parks and Rec and freaking everything Michael Schur has written ever and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I took it actually through Haven. I took a sitcom class, and
Was it with Jill?
No, so Jill's awesome too. It was it was with an LA writer and an agent and coach named Scott Sedita.
Okay, nice.
And he had written a book that I was like I just ate up, and it was called The 8 Characters of Comedy. And his theory is that every sitcom, or every half-hour comedy as they're now called, has the same 8 archetypes, but they're just sometimes changed or different. And so an example would be like the materialistic. So you might have a character who, that's like your Rachel Green from Friends, things like that. You might have your neurotic, that could be like a Boyle from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know. You have these different kind of OCD characters or whatever.
Nice.
So
what's the book called?
I believe it's called The 8 Characters of Comedy by Scott.
8 Characters of Comedy.
Yeah, Scott Sedita.
Scott Sedita. Okay, we'll check it out.
So we'll link that.
I'm definitely interested in anything. Yeah.
It was really interesting because it was geared to 2 sides. It was geared to people who are actors and want to do more of that type of comedy, and also people who were writers. Right. So initially I read it as an actor, and then I went, wait a second, why don't I write it too?
Yeah.
And so that's when I started workshopping an idea for a sitcom I had called Camp, because I thought The Office is called The Office, and Friends is called Friends. So it's my friend Charlotte Denton and I wanted to make this thing about a Christian summer camp. So we're like, let's just call it Camp.
Yeah.
Duh. There you go. Done. Because we thought that's a comedy for sure. Absolutely. What are you talking about? So we started workshopping that, and then I had a bunch of like actors come out and just like play these different scenes with me, so I could like really picture it. And then we were pitching that, and things kind of were put on hold through pandemic, but then afterwards it just made me realize like how much I loved writing too. So then I started last year this process of, I'd written another half-hour show that I'm calling A Comedy with Heart. It's called The CEO.
Yes, I saw that on your Instagram. I was gonna get to that.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is, to pull it all the way back around, I learned how to produce, and I went to festivals, and we can talk about all those if you're interested, and started to learn how to pitch and what the pitching process looked like to like actually speak with executives.
Yeah.
And what sort of sells them on an idea, and what they're looking for, and who's looking for what. There was just a lot that I've learned over the past year. Basically, it's been just over a year that I've been doing that. And yeah, my project, I mean, I also pitch Camp because, again, hilarious, why not? But I've been pitching The CEO because it's about a millennial girl who turns 30 and thinks her life is over, because obviously your life is over at 30. Just kidding. Obviously not.
Getting started.
So it's about that, and then she basically gets a work concussion and starts seeing the physical manifestations of her mind, body, spirit, emotion, and will as characters outside her body.
Oh.
So
Interesting.
the sitcom of it is that she speaks to herself, and each part of her, like, as you could imagine,
Okay.
could fit the archetypes.
Right.
So spirit is something they call in their own universe in the sitcom book.
Right.
And like, you know, like Will is kind of a neurotic because it can't make a decision, and like it's all about decision making. And mind is called the logical smart because, you know, or whatever. So there's like these different archetypes that they kind of fit, but I call it with heart because it goes into, it's those traditional things that we'll know and recognize, but also dealing with like real problems that I feel is unique to millennial and Gen Z, and even people who are older than that as well, because just everything has changed. Like societal expectations and just real human needs are completely evolving and changing. And I think like a lot of people, they don't feel that they can, you know, live up to what they pictured their life to be.
Right.
We'll put it that way. So it's interesting that your podcast is about breakthrough, because it's kind of about her coming to terms, first of all, becoming aware of herself and coming to terms with that, but then having the breakthrough of self-acceptance eventually.
Yeah, that's why we booked you. So
Yeah. So anyway, podcast done. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. No, just kidding. But yeah, so with that in mind, I think, I think it's supposed to speak to that. And I did actually get my friend Bob Youssef, who is also a registered, like his day job is being a therapist.
Okay.
And he wrote it with me, did a lot of story consultation, because it's very heavy psychology involved. So that's what's interesting, is that I started being like, I think I want to do psychology, but I really love acting. And then like, here we are, I'm basically going to be doing both.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
So, so it was kind of interesting. But yeah, the past year I've just decided, speaking of breakthrough, that I just really want to do things. Like I just, if it's artistic and if somebody has a vision, I'm in. Like I want to make Vancouver a place where things get made. Because right now, people don't feel that they can make things here. You know, and there's a variety of reasons for that, but you know, we'll see what the next couple of years look like. I know LA traditionally has been this hub, but even that has really changed in the sense that LA lots are too expensive right now. They're actually flying out of LA. Like nothing is shooting in LA right now.
Absolutely. Yep.
And then, you know, BC is like dealing with our tax credits and what's that going to look like. They're trying to get people to come back.
Yep.
So I have no, I just believe that there's a lot of shifting going on in the industry. And so it's really time to just decide what you want your life to look like as an artist. And for myself, I am very passionate about making stories that bring hope to people. And so that's where I've kind of I'm just in the middle of launching like my production company.
Love it.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of that, actually, I don't know if I mentioned this, guys, but I'm actually like launching a new studio as well. So the space that I had, I just figured like, you know, I want to just kind of like, you know, help people and help them with the tape. And so it's called westgroundstudios.com. If you guys want to check that out.
Cool.
It's going to be, I mean, it's not quite launched soon, but you know, like in the next few weeks or so.
Stay tuned.
But yeah, so again, I want to turn this into a production company as well, where, you know, hopefully we'll produce films and stuff like that, but that's going to come like later on. This one will just be more like as a self-tape services and things of that nature.
Oh yes, I also work for Tri-Cities Film Studio if you need self-tapes. That's a thing.
Looking for self-tapes, Tri-Cities. Is Tri-City, where's Tri-Cities? Is that?
It's actually in Coquitlam. Okay. So if you're in
deep
into
the suburbs and you're Coquitlam, Boca, whatever. Check out Tri-Cities.
New West. A lot of people come from New West. You can come from deep Vancouver, but there's a lot out here too. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, I love that. I gotta say, I mean, this was probably the most elaborate answer I've had so far on the show. I mean, if I were to grade this, I would give it like a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
It fills up. It's got it all out. Like it's just.
Thank you.
It was so well. Yeah, it was so well elaborated. It was very complete. I loved it. So good, so good. Love it. I get to the
I
clip.
really should be paid to talk as
I know,
well.
yes, yes, yes. Oh,
I don't seem to have an issue with
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Just bill me the invoice after this. Nice, love that. So I guess like my next question would be, so I guess like right now, because you're talking about the films and this and the production company and the acting. So like, where are we? I guess like on. So how much of your schedule is acting? How much of your schedule is directing? Like, is it kind of like it's just whatever comes up, you're just doing it, or like do you purposely spend that much time on acting and then that much time on directing and that much time on producing? Like, what's
I
like,
see. How do I divvy it up?
yeah, right now? Because I'm wondering like what your life is like as just as,
Yeah.
are you more of an actor right now, or like more as a behind the wheels trying to just make stuff?
Well, I think I have a love-hate relationship with acting because so much is not to do with meritocracy. So much is to do with things that feel very outside my purview.
Yeah,
If I am auditioning for something and I nailed the audition, but I'm too tall, or I nailed the audition and I look too young to play
right,
40 this day,
right, yeah,
although
yeah.
yesterday I was playing 40, no problem. You know what I mean?
No, I
Or
mean
whatever
you
it
have
is.
the voice for that. Like it's just
Yeah.
that you're
Well, and
very
and
mature. Yeah.
there, I mean, there's up and downs with it. Like first, again, so much is out of your control. You can be in a position where someone might look at you and be, this is an actual example, actually. For a few years, I've had two different agents that were always kind of looking towards having my age demographic be definitely 30 to 40s, if not 35 to 40, because I do have this height.
Yep.
And then
Height
also,
sometimes, yeah,
hey,
dictates, yeah.
I'm 5'9" and a bit. Like we could call me 5'10". And
Right,
then on
right.
top of that, I have like a more full voice. I don't have the like, hi, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I could do it, but
Yeah.
it's just like I could play that, but it's this is where I resonate generally.
Right.
And so because of that, I think there is that kind of like, oh, we see you as a role in power or something like that. But then you're kind of competing against and there's nothing wrong with this, but a group of people who already have quite stacked resumes that are playing those roles.
True. Yeah.
And
It's hard to beat
so
that. Yeah.
but again, there's always like I believe there's room for everyone and you just never know. So
Right.
we be auditioning,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
But I'm just saying like I've often been kind of aged in that category, and then it's so funny. I was doing a coaching the other day and this is a person who worked in casting, and this person said, "Oh, like the biggest thing you're going to be fighting is that you just don't, you look too young, or yeah, you look too young to play this." And the role was for 30 to 35.
Okay.
And so you're like, oh, okay. Cause like I am like, so it just, all I'm saying is it's all in the eye of whoever's watching,
True.
what people think is right for you. And so with acting, I almost, it's like a fickle lover. You don't know how to please it sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't care. I'm not pleasing it. I'm just going to do my thing and take back control. And,
Yeah.
and I just am going to like, I think things are funny. And so I'm going to play it funny. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is.
No, absolutely. I
And
mean,
then you're
whatever
like,
your gut feeling
oh,
says,
yeah. And so you kind of are in this like in and out of a fight with it. Whereas I feel like with producing, if I want to meet with a creator, I just do. I just schedule a meeting.
What's up, bro? Where you at?
And then I just talk, and it's been interesting. Quite naturally, I've had a lot of people reach out to me in the last 3 months
Okay.
that I'm like, man, I better start learning to develop like this is why I kind of am in a place now where I'm actually going to work on a company, because I'm at the position now where people are starting to ask and request and be like, let's collaborate. And so I need the framework for that. And it'll be more another year of learning, but it'll be, I think it's going to be what my career is.
Yeah.
So anyway, to go back to your question, like, what does a day look like? I mean, if an audition comes up, I and like it's been up and down the last several months, but I will say for myself personally, it's been decent. Like for the times. Like I still get seen, which is lovely. Thank you to my agents at LLA. But
I love it.
yeah. But I think, there's different levels of how busy that'll be. And then for myself as a writer, like you can always be working on your writing.
Oh, yeah.
So if you wake up and you magically don't have anything on your schedule that day,
That's on you.
then, 10 till 2, I'm writing, right? And then maybe I take a meeting and generally on Zoom or whatever or Google Meet to speak to someone. And, in the past week alone, I've had a couple meetings with that I'm looking to be producing other people's writing. So I have my own writing that I'm also producing and like trying to pitch, but I'm also looking to pitch other people's writing. So some people, they really want their they want to be the one doing that, and then other people, maybe it's not their strong suit. Like networking is a skill unto itself, and knowing how to pitch is a skill unto itself. And so those kinds of things are things I'm developing more and more and more practice at.
I love that. That's
So,
so good. No, you seem like you're a very busy person, which is nice. It's always good to be busy because, hey, if the auditions are not coming to you, then well, it's fine. I'll create
sometimes
things.
they do anyway, and they're like,
do,
oh my.
They're coming. And it seems like they were coming a decent amount for you, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, it ebbs and flows, like for everyone. Some people, they're going to get hit with a million things, and then other people, not as much. That doesn't necessarily mean my booking ratio is insane. You know what I mean? But I just think again, so much of that is to do with a lot that might not be in our control.
Yep, I agree. You said it pretty well. Just the height, the way you look,
and sometimes they'll think of you because they love the height, right?
Yeah.
We need a tall girl, or we need somebody who, looks a certain way or has a certain essence.
Yep.
And so, nothing wrong. I'm not necessarily bashing it. I'm just saying it becomes tricky for the actor.
Sometimes they gauge the casting off of something so superficial. It's unfortunate, but this is kind of the industry. I get it. Like it's just if they want a certain height for the character, they want a certain height. It's just how it is, right? It's just
and that's another thing that I kind of did. I won't say at not near the level of the main 10 casting directors in the city, but I did work in casting for a little bit of time too.
What did you guys?
Where I was doing for more of a smaller company. Well, it's not for like a production house called Cassier Film Co. And so I was doing some casting with them. And what was so fascinating in that experience is I worked with them to, first of all, develop with what we were thinking for the director. I've also written with them. So we have a close rapport, but
Nice.
I was doing stuff with them. And then the company that had hired them would have opinions on things. So
Interesting.
So you start to learn, for a person to get cast, it has to be run by like an insane amount of people. It's not just the casting teams. And the casting teams in Vancouver, they want us to book. It looks good for them.
They're rooting for you, honestly.
They want
you more
us
than
to
anyone get the
win.
role,
Yes, they want us to win, but they only have so much power to make that happen.
It's not up to them at the end of the day. It's just,
And that's kind of, I think that was the big revelation for me, was that I'm like, oh, I'm like working so hard to figure out like how to, make it marketable for this or that. And then you just have to you got to have an awareness of what you bring to the table and a confidence and a sense of branding and type.
Yeah.
But then you have to let all that go because it's so insane. And you just have to do your best version as Jenessa as blank. Right. Jenessa's take artistically on blank.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're going to be like, what the frick was that? You know what I mean? Sometimes. But then sometimes they're going to be like, that was it. Yeah. And so you just keep it consistent. But I think with that, it's ebbs and flows. And I just think the breakthrough for me was just going, okay, I need, for my own soul's sake, to stay creative. And so let me branch out.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So well said. It's good. I mean, it seems like you are at a place where, You know, you're not going to say to note what's coming, but also you're also going to do your own thing and focus on that. And, you know,
It's like yes and. It's like
yeah,
improv.
yes, and yeah, literally. You always
You
say
know?
yes. You always say yes to the offer. I love it.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, I was actually looking at your IMDb right now. It's just
Not the IMDb
yes,
printed.
yeah, the IMDb print. Everything is printed. Yeah.
I love that. You're so organized.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, I think I also like saw on your Instagram. I mean, I got to talk about this one first because
Sure.
it seems like it's something you wrote, directed, produced. Northern Lights.
So Northern Lights was the music video.
Nice. Okay.
So Northern Lights was the music video, and yeah, we did the
Was one of the first projects you worked on, right? 'Cause
Yes.
It seems like it was
Yeah.
right in the pandemic, actually.
Yeah, that's when it finally came out.
Okay. Came out in the pandemic.
Yeah,
I love it. It's
yeah,
like, you know what,
yeah.
you guys are all sitting at home. Just take this. Just watch this.
Yeah, well, exactly. I was trying to
so good.
do something, but you know, it was way ambitious though. Like we literally had we had 6 locations. Like we really could have done it short film style, like it's all in one. Let's do a oneer, you know what I mean? But we're like, no, we're gonna be in multiple places and try to match cut everything. It's like,
Let me guess. Were you guys chasing Northern Lights by any chance?
oh, that would have been cool.
That would've been
So
sick.
the song was actually about connection and the question of loneliness. And so we kind of initially we were thinking about writing something that was the person being just alone in a lot of rooms. And then we thought that's very obvious. And this is funny because this was before pandemic, that we filmed it before pandemic. So the ironic part is we actually were we wanted to capitalize on the idea you can be quite lonely in public spaces where there's tons of people. And so we actually
True.
had
So
all
true.
these different journeys
that.
of these people that were we had a bunch of cuts of people walking and you could just see behind their head. And they were just following POV, following them,
Yeah.
but then kind of resonating with the fact that all these people, they were around people, but they were united by this walk of loneliness. And then at the end, they kind of found this inner peace and they kind of connected with themselves, or they did something to kind of ground who they were. And then they were actually able to connect and invite people in.
I love it.
And
That's
so
so
then you
thoughtful, so
saw their faces more at the end. You started to see pieces of them come back as opposed to just the behind them.
Nice, nice.
So, but that's interesting because I just thought of this now because that was pre-pandemic and it was all these public spaces. And if we had filmed it much later, we wouldn't have been able to get those shots.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, actually, let's pull the clip.
Yeah.
you know.
I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
No, it would have been good. I mean, we could watch it maybe a bit later. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
But we have a lot to get to.
Yeah.
Okay, I also want to talk about, I mean, this seems like one of the biggest projects you've also worked on. Meanwhile, Black in Vancouver. Yes, we got to talk about that. When I saw that coming, little smile over there.
Oh my gosh. No, I laugh because
Nice.
I was the only white person on this project.
Oh,
Yes. So
I
it's
was like-
called Meanwhile Black in Vancouver
Wakanda
because
style.
so my friend, my good,
Black Panther
brilliant.
came to Vancouver. I love
Well, yeah, it's all kind of in that same, which we love Black Panther. It was all sort of during that same time. So my good friend Tunji Taylor Lewis, he and I went to Trinity together actually, and this was again my first kind of I didn't even think about this, but that was truly my first ever time pitching.
Okay.
Because basically what happened is he was similar. He was just, and if anyone knows Tunji, he has like a gazillion followers and is just very smart and business savvy. And he could see the writing on the wall even back then, which is actually I look back on and I'm just like, what an icon, really. Because he told me, he's like, I don't know, Jenessa, I think all this stuff is going to shift in a couple years. And I was like, no way. There's no way that would happen.
Right.
And he was right. He was right. But
yeah.
he was like, I think we just have to be creators. We have to write stuff. We have to make stuff. And I was like, what? I just want to audition. Anyway, so he wrote this little pilot called Meanwhile Black in Vancouver. It was a pilot script for a show that he would hope to make into a TV show, which could still happen. You never
I
know.
love that. I mean, you got to be ambitious. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
But at the time it was like he wanted to do like a full pilot. And then he was like, maybe we should just break this down into like make the pilot into like little episodes.
Many tiers, yeah.
Yeah. So he asked me if I would help him to produce it. And of course, because I was sort of doing that, I was like, yeah, sure. And so I came on the project, and there, initially he was supposed, for all the obvious reasons, he was supposed to direct it.
Right.
Because, you know, what context do I really have?
Right.
And the whole show is based upon trying to get like the Black voice heard in Vancouver, which it's growing, but at the time was predominantly like, it's like there was like a joke going around town. It's like, yeah, we know all the Black actors in town because there's just a few of us, you know, compared to like Toronto or other places.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was a joke, right? It is growing, but anyways. And so he wanted to write a series kind of about that feeling and set it in Vancouver. And so he did it. But then as we were starting the pre-production process, he looked at it and he was like, oh, like I have to, like he was acting in it. And as every actor, whether they want to admit it or not, eventually finds out, unless you're Bradley Cooper, it is very hard to direct and act at the same time.
Oh, yes.
Very difficult. In fact, some would argue not even possible to do well.
Right.
Some people might get offended by that, but it's very difficult. And so
hold on, like he was a director or you were?
So he was initially supposed to direct.
Okay.
And then he asked me last minute, would I direct, because he was acting in it.
See. Yeah.
So anyway, I ended up directing the series, and it was fine because we had a very conjoined vision of what we were going to do. And I was already meant to be on set, and it was actually such a blast, and we had so much fun. And I loved working on that project. And again, it was one of the many things that made me go, this is way more fun than not doing this. Like I want to be working on things that make me laugh. Like I really struggle sometimes on set to like just shut up because it's so funny and I'm almost going to ruin the take by laughing.
I mean, that's how you know that it's working.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So I did that, and that was good. It was good experience for me, right? To like just, you know, do several days of shooting and like to learn angles and direct. And
that's amazing. Yeah. I mean, like you were on it for a couple of episodes, right? So
yeah.
Well, for the entire thing.
The whole thing. Yeah, I directed.
Nice.
And I, you know, this transpires even to like my work at Tri-Cities as I'm not a director necessarily, I'm coaching, but there is that lens of like, how do you speak to actors to get their best work?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And how do you calm their nervous system so they can just automatically do what they do best? Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So it's fun.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think there's no better person who understands this process than a director. You know, I mean, yes, an actor can always coach another actor, but at the end of the day, it's the director's job. He knows better. Like it's just that it's his life. Like that's what he do. It's just direct people. Set, right. So, I totally agree. I mean, it looks like it was a cool project. And then you said you were the only white person on the.
Yes, I was the token white
girl.
The
crew, the cast, everyone was black except for you. Wow. Okay. I mean, it really is Wakanda. I mean.
It was funny and. But Tunji always used to say, like, I was his only, he had two black friends at Trinity, and like one was our other friend, and then one was me. Because like my internal self is like, I don't know. I'm just like, it was just very silly. But yeah. No, so it was good. And I just, you know, I think, and I had my own experience of that, like cut to this last January, I did my sizzle reel for CEO to help pitch. Nice. And I was acting in that, and I hired on a director who similarly really understood my vision. And so it was very easy to be like, you get it. We talked about it. Great. And then he just did it. Nice. And then that was kind of really a cool, full circle moment of like, that's what I did with Tunji. And then this is my friend Daniel did that with me. And so
I love that. So I guess like for anyone who's watching right now who wants to get into directing and stuff like that, like where do you think they should start? Right? Like I guess like for you, because you know you've obviously dabbled in that for a bit and you know you're still doing it. Yeah. To a fair amount. I'm not sure if are you working on like a film that you want to direct, produce sometime soon, or
Well,
is it in the works?
yeah, I mean, right now I'm more so in my producer brain just because Banff World Media Festival is coming up in June,
Nice.
and I'm obviously going to Italy in May.
That's happening. Yep. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so
That's why we
my
have these
producer
posters.
brain is kind of gearing up towards that. But even with that in mind,
Yes, I mean,
I am directing at the end of April. I'm going to be directing
nice.
a different one of the projects I'm producing. My friend Lauren has written another comedy, and I'm going to be directing that sizzle. So it's kind of, it's kind of very fluid,
Right.
like acting, directing, writing,
Yeah.
producing. They were sort of never not all happening at any given time for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at opportunities recently as well. This is the interesting thing about life. I've been looking for opportunities to direct or shadow, and I've actually become close with some people who really work in that field through Creative BC and DGC, the Directors Guild of Canada.
Yep.
So I think that's coming. Like that's going to be on the horizon for me, is just more experience with bigger budget shows.
Yep. Love that.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Amazing. That's amazing. We're looking forward for all this.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely. Please
Yeah.
let us know when these drops.
Yeah,
Whatever
for sure.
story or something, we'll be more than happy to take a look.
Yeah,
Or watch it
thanks.
together. But
Yeah.
just to go back to the original question, I guess. If someone's like, wants to get into directing, producing,
Yeah.
I mean, do you have to go to film school for that? Can you just get going with your phone? Where do you even start? I mean, like, it's just, what do we, yeah.
Okay, so if you want to direct, I mean, I guess there's some classic answers I can give. I think the first thing is watch the things you want to direct.
Yep.
So
advice for
let's start before we even pick up any actual instruments and tools to direct. For me, I have comedy in my blood because I've watched so much comedy. So I know when the beat happens and when that third punchline hits, I know how we have to hit it.
The timing, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it is timing.
Yep.
And I think if you want to do like horror, actually funny, comedy and horror are not that separate. They're actually very timing based. But if you want to do horror,
Like jump scare horror?
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, then I think you should watch horror.
Right.
And if you want to do like drama, like one take, like real emotion, you got to watch that.
Nice.
So, I think there's lots of different directing styles, and it's helpful. It's helpful to know the greats. But for me, at the moment, I am pursuing more episodic than I am like feature film.
Gotcha.
Doesn't mean I wouldn't enjoy to direct a feature in the future, but that's just where I'm currently at. I think it's helpful for people who are watching to kind of, this is helpful for acting as well. I would say start by picking a niche and then spread out from there. Like start by one thing and then do it from there. I would say, even though my journey doesn't look the exact same way, my recommendation would be to watch the YouTube video from South by Southwest that is actually within this month, almost 10 years old, called The Calvary Is Not Coming. It's a keynote address.
Right.
And it gives like the director gives you a step by step on like what he did and how to get started, and like my kind of advanced version of that, not that I'm at that level, would be like, if you really like whatever you really want to make, like just make a version, like a bad version of that first. So for me, like I made a music video and it was good. It was thoughtful, but is it the best thing I've ever made? Well, no, I'm going to grow from there. You know what I mean? And I think if you really want to direct, you got to make friends that are actors or non-actors who are okay at somewhat acting and like just grab your phone and make something.
Love it.
I think that's the key. So watching the stuff you want to make,
Watch it. Yep.
and then making it via your phone, because it starts to like, there's a lot of great resources that we have that just didn't exist prior. So like YouTube, prime example. There are so many people who talk about photography and the rule of thirds and like where you might be on screen and like what that looks like and color. And The other thing that I've had to, I always kind of feel like, oh, I just wish I knew more about like
Right.
cinematography or whatever.
Right.
But I think that's even something to consider is there's two types of directors. There's the actor's director and then there's the like camera's director. And like
okay.
some cinematographers, they have a vision and they have a creative process and then they want to learn to direct. Prime example, we just saw in Severance, the most recent season, the cinematographer for all of season 1 and most of season 2 directed her first episode under the stewardship of Ben Stiller, who directed it most of the series.
Right.
I think her name is Jessica Lang. I'm not.
Jessica Lang. Okay.
I don't know her last name, but she's or something. And you can tell when you watch the episode, it's very cinema. It's very
Nice.
director of photography forward. And so you could tell like that's the kind of director she'll be. And I think that's cool. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. That's
Yeah,
actually like it's a beautiful episode. And then there's other episodes where that is there and exists, but the director of photography takes care of that and they're more narrative or story forward. So there's different types of
Nice.
stuff.
Love it. So really, like, I guess if we were to just like summarize this, just, immerse yourself into the type of
What you wanna
directing,
do.
producing that you want to do. Just start watching a lot of that. Get out there, get your camera, get your phone, whatever, start really consuming, and just, start messing around, I guess, with it, right? Like just really
Play. Yeah.
play and see
Playing.
what sticks. Put it on Instagram, put it anywhere. Like, people will give you feedback. You know what I mean? So like, I
Yeah.
think, as you said, like we do have the resources today that we didn't have back in the 90s and the 80s. I mean, just YouTube, Google,
Yeah.
podcasting, like it's anywhere. Like it's just,
Yeah.
you can literally find this anywhere online, which is amazing. And, we don't have this luxury back then.
And vertical series is the
Vertical
thing
series,
now.
Yes, it's popping.
And
Every day
if
I'm seeing
if you're wanting to, I mean, I think that could be an interesting thing is like, what do you like if you make a short film for Instagram? I haven't done it, but it'd be interesting. What would that look like?
Yeah.
And then, I guess the next step after playing and starting that process, more of a mid-tier advice is at that point doing a short film and creating a short film with people that you respect and try to do it under like $1,000 if you can, although that's harder and harder, but you never know. Like you can pull favors, do it in a place that you already have access to. So you're not paying for location.
Absolutely.
And then just from that point forward, like choose something under 5 minutes, a location, ideally if you could make it comedic because that does really well. But anything under 5 minutes is a lot more easy for a festival to program because if you have like 12 minutes, 20 minutes, they still could technically count. But that means that like 4 other creators don't get their spot. So that means that your short film has to be amazing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So doing under 5 minutes ups your chances.
Absolutely.
And then just putting things into festivals and starting that road.
Right.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. I was just about to say, and there's a lot of festivals around in the city, Shits and Gigs, Run and Gone, Crazy 8. There's so many of them that you can just, even if you don't live in Vancouver, honestly, like if you just look out,
even
local,
further out, Chilliwack Film Festival, I went this past year. It surprised me. Osgood Perkins showed up, who has just done several feature films and is quite literally connected to Hollywood in big, big ways. Like his dad made Psycho, and he was in Legally Blonde. I don't know him very personally. I met him once, but if that was, I'm sure his repertoire goes so much deeper than that. But he made Long Legs. He just came out with The Monkey that it stars Theo James, and this man came to Chilliwack Film Festival because he wanted to support local art. He had an editor, or 2 of his editors, I believe, but one for sure. Maybe it's just one, but they're from Chilliwack.
Wow.
And so, I think about that and think about short films there. I think about short films other places. There's a lot of opportunity and you can actually go on websites and find that.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you can apply for South by Southwest,
That'd be good. Yeah.
hello, let's do that.
Yes. I mean,
you can just apply, but if that doesn't work, that's fine. You're probably going to apply for everything. Your name will be seen once.
Sure.
And then the lower tier, but then you just kind of build up from there,
Absolutely. Said it so well.
Yeah.
what do you think of the industry as a whole in Vancouver, as far as like the acting, the community, I guess,
Yeah.
not just the industry, but mainly the community, the Vancouver community. Obviously, it's a very small community. It's very tight. It's not as big as Toronto, LA, or New York, or whatever. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that the industry here, I think people are so talented.
Yeah.
I am so pissed that we are not seen more.
True.
I think there is so few parts for
Deserve more.
women,
Yeah.
and so few parts in general, but so few parts for women because disproportionate amounts of women actually pursue this field. And there's this false thing that I know a director who just worked under like an American director, and she just was on The Irrational. They directed an episode,
Yeah.
and during that process, she had to fight to make sure that Canadians were actually even seen for the parts, because there's this illusion that if you were serious about your acting, you'd move to LA, which I find hysterical. And this was only what, 9 months ago, and now LA is dead. And so I'm just thinking to myself,
we're the one who's booming finally. LA's finally dying.
well, yeah.
I mean, we're doing pretty good.
And I love LA. Like, listen, I love LA. Like, I love LA. I just think that equally there's a lot of talent here is all I'm saying.
I agree.
And I think that there's people that I know that in my mind, they should be,
bigger or something.
Yeah. I mean, there is a line in a Taylor Swift song that says like, we declared Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist. And that's just like how I feel about so many people in Vancouver. I'm like, if they can't, like, why? So, yes, it is a smaller community. I think it's a good one to be a part of. I think that less and less people are competitive and more people are very supportive of each other.
Yeah.
And people here want to do like your shorts. Like that's cool for a director. Like bigger names want to like come and be like gangster with you. And I freaking like so appreciate that.
Yeah.
I will say this might not be Vancouver specific. It might be. I don't know. There is a challenge right now in the mid-tier.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you are brand new, there's an expectation that, okay, well, you're brand new, whatever. And if you're a name who has a lot of credits, there's an expectation, oh, you're a name with a lot of credits. But that transition between the two is difficult.
Right.
And I think it's because unless you have something other than the craft going on that can help you kind of move forward with like grants or this or that, like, and people have their connections and whatnot, but it is difficult. I think I think this is probably a byproduct of just less stuff being shot right now. Like we used to have like 50 to some odd.
Yeah.
I don't know how many shows do we have in Vancouver? We used to have a lot.
A lot.
And now,
it's kind of dead right now, but yeah, I mean.
In January, I'll put it this way. In January, there were 7.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
And they're used to 50.
Yeah.
And that's not including commercials and, other
Voiceovers
things.
and other stuff.
Yeah, voiceover. That was just the amount of like actual TV shows, MOWs, features that were going on here. And so it's just, one of my mentors, Lisa DeRue, who runs Tri-Cities Film Studio, she was telling me the other day, man, like when I was like coming into this industry, there was just so many auditions and so much opportunity because there was so much less competition because you had so much more going on.
True.
And now it's a little harder. That might just be an industry as a whole though, but I just feel like in Vancouver, it is a little tricky because we have this tradition, which some people won't like me saying, of being like a service town where American.
That's basically what we are for now, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of. This is what I'm trying to change. This is what I'm trying to break through, guys. Is that there's not a lot of first time created shows from Vancouver, like Vancouverites who write and direct and make a show, and then that gets picked up. Not a lot.
Right.
Because we have to focus on something Fox brought here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I get it. But also but when will we be able to build ourselves up then? Yeah. Why can't we do both?
I think so my understanding of this, because like I'm a very technical person, I guess, from
Yeah.
just for doing engineering, I guess, but I just find it very hard to land something significant here. I mean, I think, as you said, like we're a service industry, at least in Vancouver, where we're just like really fillers. We're just filling, little parts here and there to advance the story. And it's, the bigger parts, the leads, the recurring, the series reg or whatever. Not that they can't come to us, like every now and then I would see like a Vancouver person book it, but for the most part, like it's pretty much always an American person who gets it. So again, unless it's like a Canadian production, if it's a Canadian production, that's an exception. Like very often, like it's pretty much like an entire Canadian cast, right? So like very little we will cast Americans if it's a Canadian production. But yeah, I mean, it seems like that. That's what I'm thinking, right? Like I'm like, okay, like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, if you want to land something significant, I guess we gotta make, we gotta go to the States and just, make some presence there at some point, I guess, right? Get some sort of representation. I mean, it's a bit sad, but like it's kind of the reality of things. That's what it looks like from what I see. So again, like, and there are some few, Canadian talents that did manage to break through, and get big roles just through Canadian representation. It's not impossible, but it's just 10 times harder, right? It's just like, also like, it's like most of the production we have are American here. Toronto gets a lot of Canadian stuff. We get a lot of American stuff. So, they're obviously going to prioritize their own people first, especially for the bigger stuff. So that's kind of what I'm noticing. And I don't see this changing anytime soon, right?
Okay, so
do you think
what I'll say about that?
Yeah.
So you have to understand how producing works. The thing that's crazy is this weird, inconceivable reality that we have this art that we love so much matching with straight business.
Right.
Like, and this is why they call it show business.
Absolutely.
And there's different ways to do business. The way Canada does business is it's a lot of grants, it's a lot of government funding, it's a lot of tax breaks.
Yep.
And, you hear like the showrunner, the actual writer creator of Wild Cards, being like, yeah, being a showrunner in Canada means nothing to the States. And I'll tell you why, because you're funded by certain things here or you're not. And there's tiers and there's a system. And and then alternatively, if you're not with those kind of like network or that, whatever, then, there's people who are producing from like a more of an enterprise level. They're producing via their own funds.
Right.
So this is actually more common in the States where you're actually putting up your own private equity in order to make a movie.
True.
This is why you always see producers depicted as very stressed out people, because if this doesn't work, guess what that means? They lose their house. Right?
Yep.
And so the stakes become ever presently high. And so that is something that's interesting too, is like, but at the same time, I think it comes down to, and again, in this climate, people aren't going to want to hear this, but I know this from speaking to different companies at these things, that, companies that are very Canadian, they want certain demographics, they want certain types of stories, they want procedurals, they want safe, because they want their money back. That's the reality.
Yep.
No risk taking, at least at the present moment. We'll see where it's at a year from now.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I kept hearing all throughout the thing. America is the land of entrepreneurship.
Right.
They're always looking for the biggest, best idea.
Opportunities.
And I'm not saying by any stretch that they don't have moments of trying to play it safe. We've all seen a million superhero movies, okay? So it's not to say that there's not structures. But in my personal conversations with like American companies and even the Canadian branches of American ethos companies, even if they themselves are Canadian, there's a bigger desire to take risks.
True.
And that's currently the people who have my writing, for example. The other people don't And we'll see where that goes. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean they'll say yes, but I'm just saying they're willing to take a risk because they have that connection to the States.
Right. Right.
So they have that opportunity with funding, and it's not just all government and what's dictated to them as being allowed to be spent money on.
Right.
So actually, to come all the way back to what is my opinion on Vancouver actors and the community here, I think people are tired,
Yeah.
I
We
think-
are. I mean, like, it's just
exhausted,
it's
burnt out.
it's very depressing, like when you put so much effort and so much work into, like, you know, like into your auditions, and you know, you get bigger roles, and you put, like, you know, like, and then you have 10 pages and you have to memorize it and tape it for the next morning, and you do it, you know, despite everything you have to do.
Yeah, as though you don't have a life and other things going on.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah,
And then you're like,
bills.
okay, well, I mean, okay, and then next thing you know, like, oh, I went to another American. I was like, okay, I mean,
Yeah.
did someone even watch my tape? Like, it's just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, yeah. Again, like, not to say like it's like this all the time. Obviously, like, it does work sometimes where
Yeah.
you do get it, but very often than not, not so much. So,
But even Americans are facing this right now, where
yeah.
there's like
Right now
the
it's pretty
social
much across the board.
media,
Yeah, I
like
agree.
what's your following? What's this? What's that? Because it's an
so
investment,
stereotypical. Yes.
right? And if you don't have a
Instagram
big
following
enough
is big, yeah.
name, this is okay. I'll put it to you this way. This is a real conversation that I just had with a real company. I can't name drop them at the moment, but this executive told me, don't come with your project having names attached, because there's a good chance that those names won't be big enough. There's a
Okay.
good chance that we would have to like help you decide the level of threshold. And
Really?
it made sense.
Yeah,
It made
yeah.
sense. Like the way this person spoke to me about it was from a compassionate place, keep in mind.
Right. Yeah. He wasn't trying to be. Yeah.
But if you come with like, oh, this person was like the main cast of some CW show, that might not be enough.
Right.
Unless they were the creator, like try to come with an open mind of like who's going to be cast in something. Again, I believe there's room for all of us. If you come and you know your project is meant to have that person, like you do you.
Yep.
I'm telling you, this is what they told me, not if I think it's right.
Right.
But this was interesting to me because there is like this that to me is the business. That's the economics at work. That's not an artistic decision.
Absolutely.
Like this person from this show might be the best person for the role.
Yeah.
I might be the best person for the role.
Yeah.
But Jenessa, you don't have a big enough name.
True. Yeah, it's very unfortunate that sometimes they just like look at things like Instagram following or status or I don't know.
But that's where
money.
you got to go back to.
Yeah.
You got to make your own stuff.
True.
Because that's the only, to me,
Yeah.
I'm happy to be like somebody else to pioneer the new way
yeah,
that I never thought of. But at the moment, the best I can do for my own brain is to go, well, what else? Either I have to rely on a system that is obviously, after the last 5 years, I think it's so appropriate that this has been my timeline.
Yeah.
Because over the last 5 years, how fickle has this industry been?
Yep. Yep.
How fickle?
It's crazy. Yeah.
So then what are you going to do? Wait around or make something?
I agree. I just to tie the knot on that, I was training in LA a couple of years ago, and I met this coach called Bernard Hiller. Bernard, if you're out there, shout out.
Hi, Bernard.
Anyways, but he said this beautiful quote, which is, "It's only when you invest in yourself that people will invest in you."
Don't I know it?
Yes. So, and that makes so much sense because no one wants to work with someone who is just desperately waiting for a role, and I think it kind of shows in your acting as well. When you're busy, like doing things, I don't know, producing films, doing comedy, improv, you name it, whatever it
Yeah.
is. I think like it kind of shows in your acting as well.
Yeah.
You know, assume that's acting is what you want, but also like that's also valid for directing, producing, whatever.
Yeah.
But it also shows in your acting where you're not coming from a place of desperation. You're just not giving a crap. You have so much going on in your life. And you're just doing things. And that's kind of like, this is why I'm doing so many things right now. Starting the studio, starting a marketing company. I'm doing so many things. I want to stay busy because I don't care if I don't book the job. I'm just doing this like for
The love.
for the love of it. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like, I'm not really, look, it doesn't matter if I don't make it or
Yeah.
if I don't make money out of it. It's never been about the money for me, you know, at least not for in this business. So yeah, I think it's really, really important to really be busy with so many things that And I firmly believe that, the more you do it, like something will happen to you. Like there's no way that you keep on working and, you produce stuff and you do this and that and nothing happens to you. I feel like, you'll be rewarded at some point. It might take time, but like your time will come.
Well, that's where you have to go back to that question of what do
Yeah.
you want?
Yep.
Because there was something I saw that Denzel Washington
Yep.
had said a while ago, and he had just mentioned like the difference between me and everyone I came up with is
Yep.
that I'm still here.
True. Never give up.
Literally, but he wasn't even saying I'm more talented, I put in more work. Somebody else might have put in more work than him, but then they quit.
Yeah. And then it doesn't matter.
And
after,
so, and the oh my gosh, the amount of times I've almost been like, I have to quit. You know what I mean?
yourself. Yeah.
The amount of times. But yeah, I
Countless.
agree. I really appreciate that investing in yourself comment. I think that's been true for me. I think even now it's true for me. I think I've been investing in my acting. I came to a point where I was like, okay, I need coaching on my stuff.
Right.
I coach for everyone else and I help them book. I need to make sure that I'm coaching myself.
You're helping yourself though.
Yes. And it's kind of a vulnerable like experience to kind of go back to like reverse that role and let yourself put your guard down and be like, yeah, tell me where I suck right now. Like not suck. I mean, I'm being dramatic, but you know what I mean? Like tell me where I am not being like where I'm not authentic.
Lacking in something.
Yeah. Tell me when my eyeline should have been here. Like, whatever it is I might have missed or like.
Give me constructive feedback.
And like I've been noticing my nervous system is kind of flustered from it. Like I feel nervous again. And then I'm like, oh, but this is so good because it means I care and I'm vulnerable and I'm actually in it.
Absolutely.
And so, I do think there's investing in yourself can feel actually, there's a misconception that it feels good all the time. I think it can feel very scary. I think it can feel like taking a risk. I think it can feel like debilitating and like, I don't know if that's going to work, Talk to anyone who started a business ever. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
You seem to have done more than that than me. And it's like, it's all like, we'll see.
Yeah. And again, it's you got to be okay with failing. Again, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
or just I think I wonder sometimes. I mean, I know maybe I'm just like triggered by the word, but I don't even know if it's failure or if it's just movement. Do you know what I mean? Like I really think like momentum is a thing that I'm really into lately.
Absolutely.
And I just think sometimes it's like, well, that had to end. So you could start like, okay, I almost started a podcast. Did it fail? Well, I learned a ton. I think it failed. Like, I don't think like I'm not really doing it right now. Might pick it back up, but like I learned so much though.
Yeah. Also, what are you basing your failure on? Like, I mean, like, what are you comparing this
What's
to?
the measure of success?
Exactly. Right. So it's also important to know like, okay, like when do you know that you failed? Again, like I think the only way you fail, as you said, like, is just when you give up. That's the only time that you will know that you will never make it.
Unless your reality is that you actually were doing it for a reason that wasn't your genuine joy and fulfillment.
Yep.
Like giving up on acting is fine. Giving up on yourself is not fine.
True.
I think sometimes you need to take space from the craft or from the business. More so it's the business than the
take
craft.
care of yourself, like, your mental well-being and whatever you got to do to
But I think playing the long game, again, if it's what you want, I think playing the long game, because that's what Denzel was even basically saying. It's like, I'm still here at this age. Like, I can tell you of the people I graduated with my BFA, and they also had their BFA, their actual acting degrees.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm one of a few. There's like a handful that are still doing it. And that's nothing wrong with that. Maybe they went on to other things.
I believe it, yeah.
But you just kind of go, oh, okay. Because it's that challenging and spiritually, like you have to be like always growing.
True, absolutely. I think that Morgan Freeman, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Morgan Freeman did not book his first role until
he was much older,
53 or something.
Yeah. Something like that.
And then he's literally in every single thing we watch today. Like
he literally plays God.
Any movie you watch, there's Morgan Freeman somewhere in the background.
Yeah.
He's just there. Like whatever he's doing, he's just there.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if that doesn't show that like things are possible, I don't know what does. Like it's just so and I think I kind of want to conclude this with this question, I guess. is there anything that you are, and I kind of like, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Is there anything that you want to share with us as far as the projects, things that you're working on, things that we want to look forward to? It doesn't have to be like industry, acting, or producing related. It could be something as Janessa. Maybe like New Year's resolutions, or I don't know, something that you're trying, like picking up a new hobby, new sport. Just something that you want to share with us that could, yeah.
I mean, I snowboard now.
Really?
I didn't used to snowboard. I
No fucking shot.
sucked. Yeah.
I
And
love
now
snowboarding. It's amazing.
now I'm into it. I'm really vibing with snowboarding.
Where do you go?
Okay, sounds so spoiled. I go to Whistler because I get the season's pass the last day
Nice.
that the Whistler season is on, so it's at its cheapest rate.
I love it.
Okay.
Nice.
Now keep in mind Whistler is this okay. It's basically
Do you go by yourself, or like you usually go with?
I go with my boyfriend Mark. He taught me.
Nice.
Shout out to Mark.
Shout out, Mark. Nice.
But and I feel like actually my journey with the mountain is kind of similar to my journey with acting. Like I really hate it. Like I realized I had some ego around like not being good right away.
Yeah.
And listen, you're never good right away
No,
in
you never-
snowboarding.
Oh my goodness, snowboarding is tough too, man.
It's crazy. And then if you don't know how to fall well and all these different things, and then learning that there's like a gazillion types of snow and that you have to like be
Ice
better.
snow. Oh
Yeah,
my
trust
goodness.
me. And I feel
I've
like
done that, it hurts.
yeah, and it was so cool this past season. I've really been on some like tough conditions and like kind of still like held my own. And I was like, okay, like I don't have to be as scared as I was, and it's been really a cool journey. So
Right.
I love that. That's the hobby.
Amazing. That's so cool. So good.
I think for myself, like I want to like, yeah, I mean, I have my shows, so I'm pitching those and I'll be, if anyone's going to Banff World Media Festival, hit me up
Yes.
because I'll be there.
Well, let me know whenever you're doing it. Like I'm down to come.
Yeah. So it's in June and yeah. So anyway, with that in mind, like I'll be, I mean, I have my shows sort of at a place right now, so we'll see how that goes. But assuming that goes well, then great. But assuming that I need to like get back out there, then I'll be doing that at Banff.
Nice.
Either way, I'll be pitching like different projects there too.
Yeah. I love it.
So that's going to be on my
I love it.
development
I think we should
slate.
collaborate sometime on something. Like,
Well,
let's
you
film.
told me like comedy, so
Yes, comedy. Yeah, I think.
what are we doing?
Yes.
Come on.
We're speaking the same language. Comedy. Here.
What's
We're
the
doing it,
issue?
Well, I mean, I told you I want to do this little comedy skits, right? So like, I'm definitely looking for actors or someone even just
Hello.
help with the camera, directing, or like something.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you more about it, like maybe, some
later,
other time.
yeah.
But I have something very precise in mind I want to do.
Okay.
I think it's something really cool that's never been done before. I think it
Okay.
has potential to actually go hard, go wild.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
We'll chat.
We'll chat. But yeah, I guess like for myself, like the next step for me is I actually probably will start a YouTube channel. So there's that. So I would say
I've been
I'm
doing
gonna
that
need your advice on that
Hit me up for that. I've
one.
been dabbling for that in the last few years.
So that's
All
that.
day.
I would call that my next like self project because that's the thing that I just want to kind of
Love it.
document stuff with.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess those things right now, but I think just finding the joy again in like this is I think maybe I'll end with this. I think for me part of why it's so special that I get to go to Italy with my family is that I am really excited to just take some rest and like find like things that are outside of because I'm an actor / writer / producer / director. And like I said, it's pretty all encompassing.
Yep.
So sometimes you just need to go like live some life
Yep.
and then be like, rock on. And we're back. You know what I mean?
We're back in business, baby.
We're back in the studio. So I don't know. I just
That's
think,
so funny.
I think that, hobbies are important.
Yeah.
Doing things that you love are important. Dancing. Got to get
I've been
dancing.
dabbling with bachata and salsa lately. I'm not good, but just
You got to teach me. So, there's
not
different
there yet.
things. Okay, well, you learn it, then teach me.
We'll learn together.
Yeah. So,
But that'd be fun for sure. I'm always down to try, and actually, I want to get into hip hop.
okay, now we're on.
now
Now
we're
we're talking.
Same language. I love that.
Yeah.
A lot of my like most of my friends actually they're all dancers. John Ray, shout out John Ray if you're watching.
Rock on.
I took his like intro class at some point. Obviously Kiara, she's fucking phenomenal. They're all there's so many dancers. They're all like just,
Iconic, legendary. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, I need to get back into. I grew up in dance,
Nice.
actually. That was probably my first art form before even acting,
Yeah.
before I started theater. So I love
Nice.
it. I love
What kind of
acting.
dance do you like?
Well, I did the transition. It was kind of like it's slowly getting more gangster. So like I started out
What's up,
ballet.
dog?
Yeah, I went ballet and then I went
Rap.
no, ballet, then jazz, and I love jazz. And then it was called street jazz, which is kind of like
No
what you
way.
might see in Chicago or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And then there was like musical theater, and then there was I did modern first, which is very sharp movements, and then I
Okay.
did
Yeah, yeah.
like some hip hop, and then I actually did do tap in university, but that was very
Yeah, yeah,
intro
yeah.
level.
You know what I really like? I love watching this stuff. Like I could literally just watch this all day. I'm you might know this. Like what is this type of dance called? Like where people move in a very robotic way. Like they just do
Oh
like machine
yeah,
movements.
my friend can
They
do
do that.
that.
Oh my, it's so
Josh
fascinating.
Bolt, shout out Josh if you
Shout out
watch.
Josh. I had this guy back in Montreal. I watched this show. And he was like doing this type of dancing. I forgot what it's called. It has a specific name, a specific style.
Yeah.
And his nickname was Abnormal because
That's so cool.
he was so good. He was so not normal that his name
Yeah,
literally
where
people
they can
thought-
like do the head and stuff too. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
like
do that.
a
Or like
fucking snake,
Blue Man Crew
throw
stuff.
thingy.
Yeah, yeah. I can't. No, that's an aspiration.
Especially with the fucking sound effects too. You know,
Yeah.
like sometimes when the sound guy's in
Yeah.
the back and he's like timing it with the movement of your body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. It's beautiful to watch. Honestly, I don't think I can.
No,
do this.
listen,
It's
like-
so fascinating. I get
You're
that.
actually creating hobbies for me in my mind. I'm like,
Well,
oh, that
I'm
would
down
be
with
so cool.
It would be,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, that takes a lot of control, I feel.
Yes, a lot of dedication, a lot of skill, a lot of control,
Yeah.
a lot of practice for sure. I mean, it must be
lot of
so hard
practice.
because I have a friend who does it. Like, and again, like he's decent at it, but I tried it and I'm like, God, it looks so hard. I filmed myself. I'm like, is this it? Nope.
You're like, oh, and that
Yeah,
wasn't a
yeah,
thing.
That was a thing. But
Yeah.
amazing. Anyways, the great Jenessa Galbraith, everyone.
Hi.
What a great honor to have you, honestly. So
Thank
much
you.
fun, such a fun shoot.
Oh, I'm so glad.
no,
I hope it
honestly.
helps.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that was so funny, so
Yeah. Okay.
inspirational, educational.
Cool.
I mean, people will see by themselves. That speaks for itself. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll have you again sometime soon. A few
Listen,
months,
when
next
I
year,
actually sell
whatever.
a show, I'll be like, guys.
Honestly, hit me up anytime you want to come and chat. I'm always down. And
Yeah.
I love doing this.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun.
Cool.
And yeah, no, thank you so much again for coming. And
You're welcome.
we'll see you guys in the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one.
Like, follow, subscribe,
Like, follow,
share.
subscribe. You already know the drill. And yes, we'll see you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.